There we are, Clark. Good evening and welcome once again to the Tasting Bothy, buddy.
Oh, there we go. Brilliant. I'm looking
How are
forward to
you?
this. How am I? I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Yes, very, very well. You're looking
Good, good.
forward to what?
These whiskies we're tasting tonight.
Right, okay. We're going to start tonight. We're going to start with a little bottle, Dram A, that my
Ah, yeah,
brother-in-law,
yep,
Gordon, he uh,
yep.
he gave us these over. So we've got 4 of those. So over the next 4 weeks, we're going to be doing a dram, trying them out, see where we go with
Yep,
it. I have an
yep,
envelope here, which
yep.
is sample here. I didn't like the sample bit was a bit that kind of worried me, particularly when it's in a wee
Okay.
bottle.
A little bottle. Uh-huh.
To be but to be perfectly honest, Clark, if he's
He's
got a
diabetic.
sample that's that colour, if he's got a sample that's that colour, I would be slightly concerned. It is
Diabetic.
distinctively copper
Ah,
in colour.
it
So
is indeed.
I I'm not entirely sure that this is what it is. So we'll start with our mystery dram, Clark. I know
Yes,
nothing about this, and I'm not
good.
sure that by nosing it and tasting it, I'm going to be any the wiser either. I don't.
Well, there we
So what I'm going to suggest we do is we will
go.
nose
Yeah,
it, we will taste it, and we will score it.
yes,
Then we'll open the envelope and see what we
yes,
have. So
yes.
that way we're not knowing what type where the distillery is, and we're not being guided by maybe a favourite distillery, like a Ben
Nope.
Romack for me or a
Yep,
Colila, uh,
yep.
wherever you get your favourite drams from.
Anyone at all.
Any distillery in Scotland will do.
Any
Is it?
distillery at all.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. So it's great to be back in the tasting bothy, Clark.
Okay.
These wee forays we have, tasting a few drams, and just you know enjoying life in general over whiskey. Just is great. It's great.
You're too right. You're too right. Right, we're having a sniff.
Well, come on then. Let's nose it, taste it, score it. That's what we're going to do, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's go for the nose. Slange, mate.
Yes. Cheers.
It's
Oh,
distinctively sherry. That's really sherry notes
isn't it?
in that.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, I like that, Clark. Don't tell me he's gave me another Glenelgyn. You know.
there isn't much more there than sherry, though. That's a huge nose of sherry.
Yeah, yeah. It's just full of Christmas cake, mate. It's full of dried dates and fruits and all that kind of stuff that you would get sherry notes.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get things like raisins and that now. Now that
It's
I've got
starting to
this
pick
stuff
that
over.
through. There's a distinct chocolatiness for this for me, or that dark chocolate that you get. It's know what it's like. It reminds me of those Jamaican rum chocolate bars that you used to buy. Remember that?
Funny, funny enough, as soon as you said chocolate and you said, "Do you know what?" I thought he was going to say "Old Jamaica." That's what he's going to say.
Oh, Jamaica. That's exactly what that nose is like.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Oh, so nose wise, I'm going to score this quite high. I think, Clark.
It's nice, isn't it?
I
I
like it.
like that.
Yes,
Mhm.
I'm actually going to give that a 25 on the nose. I think that's top
Oh, that's a
class.
that's a top score.
Oh, I like that. I like that because it is. It is like one of those old Jamaica chocolate bars. Now
Mhm.
we've been here before where we've nosed something and we went, "Oh yeah, beauty, that's a belter of a dram on the
We've
nose,"
tasted it.
and
We've
then we've been
tasted it.
sorely disappointed as we went down. But
Well,
the other thing I would say about the nose of this, Clark, is it's like, well, what I can tell you is all of these drams are from the Scottish Malt Whisky Society.
yeah.
And I was just about to say, it smells like a cask strength malt. only because of that spiciness I'm getting. But I'm thinking, of course, it's a Scottish Malt Whisky Society dram. The likelihood
So
is it will be a cask strength. The penny
I thought,
reminded me to say it was Scottish Malt Whisky Society.
I thought that because I've no hairs on my nose left after taking the first sniff of that one.
Oh. Right, let's get a wee taste of this. Done this
Let's do it.
apple. Slange.
Cheers.
Well, that's strange.
That's nice. That comes in two stages. You get your initial
Oh,
taste in your mouth, and then when you swallow it, you get an explosion of something you weren't expecting. Oh
but I can't tell you what it is.
no, neither can I. I'll need to try it again.
That's a very strange taste, Clark.
Mm.
The aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? I don't even know how
Caramel.
to describe that.
My mouth tastes like it's full of caramel. That's what it tastes like. Caramel.
Oh no,
I'm saying.
I've got a straight. That's a strange taste. Nose
Mm-hmm.
wise, great. Obviously, it's cask strength. I can tell by the well, one it's Scottish Mills Whisky Society, but also I can tell by the actual taste of it. So this is Gordon's Dram. We'll just mention it again. This is Gordon's Mystery Dram A.
So far, I like it.
I don't know. I've got a mouthful of that, like molasses or something, like treacle, or there's a bitterness to it though. There's a leatheriness. I can't even describe what that tastes like. It's strange. It's got a really old, woody
Yeah.
taste to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what age this is. I'm going to suggest that this is a reasonably
Yes. Yeah.
old dram.
I think so as
15,
well.
16-year-olds maybe.
Mm-hmm. I still think it tastes like caramel.
It's got that caramel there to it, but there's a bitterness, a burnt. This is going to sound. I mean, you know that my background was working as an engineer, and I did my apprenticeship at Scottish Tar Distillery, and it reminds me of that. Sorry, I dropped my book. Excuse me a second. It reminds me of when we used to go and fill the big drums with creosote, and you were left with you weren't drinking the creosote, obviously, but that kind of aftertaste of flavour. Once you'd filled the drums up with creosote, you obviously got some of the perfume and aroma up your nose and whatever else, and that would kind of taint your mouth. It's got that. It's not unpleasant. It's just strange,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good. I'm going to score that 23, Clark.
I like it. Yes. Yeah. Well,
I think
that's yeah. I think it deserves a high score, but it's not. It's not. It's a very good score because it's a very good whiskey. I like it. I like it a lot.
The finish is actually quite short.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's something else in there that's very difficult to identify. I'm not sure what it is.
There is. It's obviously been. I don't know if it's been. If it's a two different casks that it's been filled with, Clark. It's obviously got a sherry cask to it, but I don't know if it's been finished in something else. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like it though. The finish is
Mm-hmm.
not too long. There's a nice spiciness to it. It's got that kind
Mm-hmm.
of gingery feel to it. So Gordon
Yes.
has
Yeah.
chosen very well for dram number one.
It's lovely. I really like it. Yeah, I like that a lot. Hey, I've given that 80. That'd be 90, 92, I think.
I've given it a 93, Clark.
Yeah, I've given that a 92 is what I've given that. I like that a lot.
So you're 92, I'm 93. So
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really nice.
it is. So we're going to find out what Dram A is.
Yeah, come on then.
I've got my phone here because I'll need to go and have a look at it. So
Save
Dram
us, 'cause I like it.
Dram A from To Bob Rocket, as he likes to get called on Instagram, my brother-in-law Gordon Crawford. It's called the Humble Mountain Feast. It's called
The Humble Mountain
Cask
Feast.
that yeah. The Humble Mountain Feast, and it's cask 35. So I'm just going to go and have a wee look at what cask 35 is. I've got all the codes on here, so I can tell you what it is.
Oh, brilliant.
Cask 35 is it's a Glenmurray, Clark.
The Glenmurray. Really?
Glenmurray. Yep.
Wow.
Its ABV is 57.9, so we kind of knew that it was going to be high anyway on that, simply because it's a Scottish Malt Whisky Society tend to be cask strength.
Yeah.
And it's 20 years old.
Well.
It's lovely.
It is very, very nice. I really like that a lot.
And it's been done in a first fill PX butt cask. So it's a Pedro Jimenez sherry cask that has been done. Obviously, Glenmorangies in Speyside. I'm going to read the tasting notes that are here with it. So the tasting notes say, your nose is transported to a Norwegian cabin where the feast away post.
Okay.
We'll keep our clothes on, though. With chicken chow mein, olives, brown cheese, spiced rum, served on an oak table. It's the olives. That's that flavour I was trying to get. It's the one I didn't like olives, as you know. I didn't like olives, but that's where that. I think that's where that saltiness is coming from.
Yes,
like the olives that we're getting. That's I like the way that they've described that. On the palate, we found ourselves in Japan, sipping Yoshimi and gazing at Mount Fiji. Now, at the moment, I'm gazing at you and you're gazing back at me. I've not got any Mount Fiji between us.
Nothing like Mount Fiji to me. No.
Then it says there are bitter oranges, tiramisu, marinated scallops, and sweet chili prawns. I don't know who writes this stuff, but anyway. Imagination, because I'm not really getting all of that out of this, but anyway, I'm enjoying it. It says if we add water, the nose will produce mocha salted caramel, sweet baked beetroot, and bramble jam coated popcorn. I don't want to add water to this because I'm enjoying it just the way it is.
As well. I do. Yeah.
It says though the palate will bring out more of those milk chocolate and kind of that kind of thing. But again, I already get that because me, it is an old Jamaica in a glass.
Yeah.
So it spent 14 years in an Oloroso, but before it was finished in a Pedro Jimenez butt cask. But this is a lovely dram. I need to go and visit my brother-in-law more often because if he's got these in the house, I want to know why I'm not drinking more of them. But anyway, that's another story. And he's probably listening to us at the moment because there's somebody online. He's probably thinking, "Aye, right." So anyway, Gordon, if you're watching, this is a fabulous dram.
That is fabulous.
Thanks very much for it. We've scored it as a 9.3. So we're into the low 90s. Great dram. On the nose, it's fabulous. On the palate, I love it. And I think the finish is great. It's leaving me wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to have another wee miffler.
I'm just going to join you.
Well, what I will say is, if that's Dram-y, I can't wait to get into the other 3 drams, because that's a belter. That's a lovely dram.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely smashing.
And I've thoroughly enjoyed.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you, Gordon. Clark and I give it a thumbs up. We're definitely into that one. And we'll look forward to tasting Dram B next week, with whatever we decide to go with. I think next week we might have a wee look at either a Tamdhu 18 or a Glengoyne 21 or something like that. So we'll have a look at what we've got.
Sounds fair to me.
What I really need to we'll look at maybe the colour of the dram that I've got for next week, which is Dram B, and we might nose that and just find out exactly what it's like, and then I'll try and pair it with a dram that we've got here, Clark, or one of the things that we've got to go with it. So our other dram that we have for this evening, which I'm quite excited about as well, and Gordon sent me a wee message today, so I think he might have bought himself a bottle of Glengoyne Teapot Dram, so he might actually be joining us tonight trying this. This is a Teapot batch 10. So this is the 10th anniversary. And for me, I'm looking forward to this. For those who know Glengoyne and know the story of the Teapot Dram, it used to be back in the day that you got 3 drams a day to drink, and obviously the young boys and that never maybe didn't drink, maybe didn't like whiskey or didn't enjoy a whiskey, but also drink driving laws came in, and drinking and driving at your work, or even working and drinking at your work, it wasn't very popular. So the lads would put the drams in the teapot, and then at the end of the day or at lunchtime or something, they might help themselves to a wee dram out the teapot. So the Teapot Dram was born in that way. This has been matured in sherry casks, as we can see. So I'm going to sit it down, Clark, and I'm going to pick up my glass. It's not dissimilar to the colour of the dram that Gordon's just gave us. It's a little bit deeper. Look at, I mean, it's really is. It's a deep copper colour.
It's a beautiful colour.
Particularly the fact that we're looking at the autumn leaves at the moment, and they're all turning that copper browny golden colour. This reminds me of autumn in a glass. It's just fabulous. Again, the ABV in this is quite high. So we're talking about 59.4. We've just had a 57. So we're up at 59.4. And it looks fabulous. When you look at the legs coming down there, once it just catches and coats the glass, it's a beautiful dram. I know I'm slightly biased because I work for the Ian MacLeod Distillers, and I like a Glengoyne.
Slightly.
This is the first teapot dram I've ever had. So I've not tasted batches 1 to 9. Batch 10 is the first teapot dram I'm getting the opportunity to try. When they came on the market to buy, I was straight in there to get one because I thought, there are only a certain amount of them are made. It actually tells me on here that this is bottle number 2,724 of 3,600. So there's only 3,600 bottles of this. And I think I'll be trying to get myself another one before they all sell out. But lovely dram. And it's only available if you're going to buy it from the distillery. You have to go to Glengoyne and get it. You can't buy it online. You need to go there to get it. But Glengoyne's a beautiful wee distillery, and it's worthwhile going to see anyway, whether you buy the dram or no. Just a day out is good. So anyway, Clark, let's have a wee nose at this.
Indeed.
Oh, now, I don't know if it's because we've had that last dram.
That's right. There's not as much nose to this as there was the last one at all. No.
I don't know if that, I think that might be the influence of that previous jam that we've had. So I'm going to take a wee minute and just let that. You're still getting that sherry influence,
Yeah.
It's a lot more subtle.
It's got a kind of leathery nose to me. To my
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
along with the sherry soaked
You're
in leather.
obviously getting that Christmas cake that you're going to get. It's not got that old Jamaica
No.
chocolatey nose the same as I had on the previous one.
There is a kind
So
of
this
dry
one's
fruit. There's a kind of dry
yeah,
fruit nose to it, but it's
yeah.
not anything like as intense as the last one.
So I'm going to score that. I'm going to score it based on the last one.
Are you? Well, in that case, that's not scoring as well as the last one with its
No,
nose.
no, that's what I'm saying. Aye, I mean, and that's maybe a shame because maybe if I'd only had one dram tonight and I come back to this another week, I might have scored it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. The only
I
safe way
can't
to
give
do
that.
it, the
Can't
only
give
safe
that a
way to do
25.
it is to do it another day. Again.
Well, we can always do that. I've got a bottle here. There's plenty in it.
Oh,
So
great.
anyway, I like that. I like the nose of that. It's a lot more subtle. Doesn't slap you about the face like the last one did.
Mm-hmm.
Still got
It's a
all
nice
those
nose. It's a
lovely.
nice nose.
Still got all those lovely sherry notes. Still got all those lovely
Mm-hmm.
dry fruits and everything. So let's have a wee taste of this one, Clark. Your good health.
Cheers.
Now,
Oh
I
boy.
prefer,
Oh boy.
I prefer the palate of this one. The palate
That's
doesn't have that, I don't know, sulphury note that I was getting before.
that's
This is a
really
lot smoother.
lovely. Mm-hmm.
This is definitely the last one. I think had was I kept getting this thing in it. What's coming into my head is sulphur. There was a bit of sulphur or phosphorus or something that was giving me a bit of a tang on my tongue from the last one, and why I didn't score it so highly. Whereas I think the palate of this one is
It's,
really really nice.
it's
Very
exceptional.
light, very
Very
smooth.
good.
There's more toffee and caramel in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's lovely. But you're right. Yes, it's there are similarities to the last one. You know, there's these caramel notes and the dried fruit notes. So yeah, but,
And
but it is one. It's lovely. I like that.
the thing I like about the finish on this is that it's left the, the inside of the top of my gum nice, and I like that numbness that you get from it, from the heat that's coming and the kind of gingery spiciness.
Yep, absolutely. Aye. Uh-huh.
So, mm. And it leaves you with a lovely sweet feeling on your mouth. You've got that kind of vanilla, caramels,
Yeah.
dried fruits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Prefer the finish to this one as well. So where I don't think the nose was as strong as the last one we had, I think the
No.
palate and the finish is a lot more subtle on it, and this for me is a lovely jam.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That is a very nice dram. Very, very nice. I really like that. Mm-hmm. You're right. In some ways, it has an edge over the last one.
Yes, I'm saying a slight edge over the last one.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to add water to it, and I know, you know, when it's something that's like 59.4 percent, you know, you would probably want to add water to it. You know, most people would say at that kind of cask strength like that, you might want to add a wee kind of drop of water to it just to loosen it up a bit, maybe drop that ABV a wee bit. But I like it just as it is. I must admit, I quite like cask strength drams, and for this one, I just love it. I think it's a great dram. It's a great dram.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go first. I went first on the last one with my 93. I'm going to let you add this up and tell me where you are with it, on it.
Well, there you go. I've actually scored it exactly the same as the last one, but I've scored it less on the nose than I did the last one, which has dropped it, and I've scored it more on the palate and the finish, which has brought it up again. So we end up with the same score. So I end up with a 92, that is exactly the same as the last one.
Right.
But the numbers are all in different orders.
Yeah. And I've scored at 98 actually.
Oh.
And what I've done is I've the palate is better. I've scored it. I think the nose is less. I've given the nose less. I've given the palate a little bit more. And I've scored the finish the same. And I've given the overall impression of it a wee bit higher than the last one was as well. So, but the way it's come out, this has come out at 98 for me. I think, I mean, I love this. This is a great dram.
It is a great dram.
I will need to get another bottle of this before they sell out of it. That's a certainty.
I think this is not meant just to be a hint or anything, but I think I would like to try that again, having not just had that other one before it.
Yes, I think we probably did probably the Teapot Dram and ourselves a bit of a disservice by doing the two of those back to back, but we didn't know what A was and what the influence was. If I'd known that A was going to be a sherry butt cast like that, Oloroso, Pedro Jimenez, then I may not have done the Glengoyne tonight with this, simply because they are very, very similar in the way that they've been finished. So both sherry casks. What I would say is, though, the one that we had first was a 20-year-old. This one's not got the same age in it. Because tradition would have been you wouldn't have had, you know, older spirits. You know, when they were going to get spirits. I'll tell you a wee story. This is really quite funny, actually. There were two sets of keys, Clark. So the distillery manager had a key, and the excise man had a key. So when they were doing the drams a day for the distillery staff, the excise man had to go with the distillery manager to open up so they could take the drams that they were going to get. So he must have been in on it. He must have been in. He must have been getting his drams a day as well, and not telling the excise. So back in the day, when the excise man lived on site, as he would have done, he would have had a key, and that's where they were. If you go to Tamdhu up at Speyside, they've got the customs house where the excise man lived on site. So the customs man back in the day would have lived on site. He would have had a key, and you couldn't get in to the distillery to get to your whiskey unless he went with you and made sure you weren't having a wee tipple to yourself. So obviously back in the day, there was a few excise men who were saying, sorry, I'll turn a wee blind eye if I get a dram as well while we're at it. And that was going on. So maybe that's where Burns got his taste for whiskey as an excise man, staying his wee bit rounds round the distilleries and said, one to you, one to me, one to you, one to me. So that might have been the way that it worked. But for us, you know, the whole part of it with a Teapot dram is that the excise man must have been in on it. they would have been taking the drams and they would have been going in, and then they obviously went into the teapot, and then the lads during their tea break could have themselves a wee dram later on, and this is where the teapot dram originated from. So, great wee story. Fabulous to actually have. We've got batch number 10. This is our 10th year. So, I need to have a wee bit of research, and I'll come back and say to you, because I'm wondering if it's all 10-year-olds that's in here, or what it is that's actually in the dram, because obviously I've got the bottle. There's nothing on it says there's an age statement to it whatsoever. It tells a wee bit about it, and it explains about, there was a copper teapot, which is on the front of the bottle. There was a copper teapot that they put the drams into. And you should be getting long, dry sherry notes and baked fruits, exactly what we're getting from it. So, yes, super dram. I'll pour you one, and you can enjoy it at some point later on, or this might be one for the caravan, Clark. This might be a weekend away with our wives in the caravan, and we'll just pour it into a teapot when we get there.
Got a copper one?
I mean, I think it's quite fitting that if we went away with the caravans and poured it into a teapot and enjoyed ourselves with a dram during the day, the girls would never know that we've got a dram in the teapot.
I think they would guess. Once we started gibbering nonsense, they would guess.
They'd guess when we stand up, or can stand up, as the case may be. But this has got this real toffiness. My sister-in-law says that she calls it taffy. We've been Mary Jane, Gordon's wife. When we've been away to Scottish Malt Whisky Society, we've had a few drams, and she keeps saying that reminds me of taffy when she was younger, and she's quite right. It has got that taffy flavour to it. So, I've just had a message for Gordon. He's sent me a message just a minute ago on our stream here to say he's listened to everything that we've said, and he says I better go and crack open that bottle then that I've got, because this sounds like it's brilliant. So the answer is, and I'm going to tell him, you do indeed.
It is brilliant. It is brilliant.
There we are. I'm sending him a message back. But it's lovely. Great dram. Great night once again. And so that brings us, it's been on for just over half an hour. It's a wee bit longer than we normally are. We'll say to everybody online, that's joined us, hope you enjoy our tastings. Gordon's dram's fabulous. We'll look forward to Dram B next week. I'll maybe do a wee bit more nosing before I actually get into suggesting what we're going to go with, Clark. We've got loads of drams to go with.
Yep, we have.
I sent you over a few recently. So
you did.
The one I forgot to give you as well is I bought a bottle of Glenfarclas 12-year-old, and I forgot to give you a wee pour of that as well for us to try. So there's another one that I'll need to get to you. And, we'll have a few drams and we'll see how we get on with it. But
lots of good nights ahead.
Go on, Clark.
I said lots of good nights ahead.
Yes. Also, one of the girls today, when I was in the distillery, gave me a tiramisu gin.
A tiramisu gin? We were talking about that, right enough, eh?
It smells like gin. It didn't smell like tiramisu. We'll look forward to our day when we go through there for the opening at Edinburgh Din. So we've got that. We've got a few drams to try. I can't remember all the drams I gave you. And I've got another bottle of Kleinlish 14-year-old. It just arrived the other day.
Happy days are here again.
I know. So many, many weeks that we can taste a few drams. We need to actually work out again, because we're coming close to the end of 2024. I think it's going to be hard to pick our top 3 drams in 2024. We've had some really fantastic drams over the year.
Some great drams,
I don't know about you, but my wee book's just about full.
It is. There's no many places left.
So that means that's almost another 100 drams in the year, which is which is very good going to have 100 drams in a year.
Aye.
Although there's a few times we've been away with the caravan that we could probably have had 10 drams in a night. But
we probably could have done. Probably.
It was. I know that I had difficulty filling glasses at one point. So
I've got the video to prove it too.
we might actually share. That might be one of these video bloopers that we can actually share on our YouTube channel.
Well, I'm sure they'd love that one.
Because that was quite funny, I must admit.
It was very good.
that evening, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, so folks, thanks very much for joining us tonight. We've overstayed our welcome a wee bit on our tasting. So if you stick with us to the end, well done. If you've left beforehand, we fully appreciate that because we talk a lot of nonsense at times. So thanks again. Have a fantastic week this week. We'll look forward to catching up with you next Sunday in the tasting body, where once again we'll have two Bob Rocket, Gordon, giving us his Dram B. We'll find out what that is. When we've tasted it, we'll score it. So again, sip it, we'll nose it, sip it, score it. That's what we're going to do. And then we'll get into whatever we're going to taste later on in the tastings. So thanks again. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, everybody. And good night.
Good night, everybody.